Lamont said. Collective homophobia creates greater disgust about actions of gay execs that we'd otherwise accept from straight ones. The definition of the word, phobia. Cambridge University Dictionary. Starting on the left. Definition of phobia. A noun. Definition 1, a type of anxiety disorder, equals a mental illness that makes someone very worried and affects their life, that involves an extreme fear of something. Definition 2, an extreme fear or dislike of a particular thing or situation, especially one that is not reasonable. To the right. Phobia used as a suffix. Definition 1, used to form words for types of anxiety disorder, equals a mental illness that makes someone very worried and affects their life, that involve an extreme fear of something. Definition 2, used to form words that mean an extreme fear or dislike, especially one that is not reasonable. Moving on to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders and its history. Homosexuality in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM. Homosexuality was classified as a mental disorder in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM, beginning with the first edition, published in 1952 by the American Psychiatric Association, APA. This classification was challenged by gay rights activists in the years following the 1969 Stonewall riots, and in December 1973, the APA Board of Trustees voted to declassify homosexuality as a mental disorder. In 1974, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders was updated and homosexuality was replaced with a new diagnostic code for individuals distressed by their homosexuality. Distress over one's sexual orientation remained in the manual, under different names, until the DSM-5 in 2013. Pre-Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders' direct predecessor was the Statistical Manual for the Use of Institutions of the Insane, for the Use of Institutions of the Insane, first published in 1918. By its 10th edition in 1942, it had become called the Statistical Manual for the Use of Hospitals of Mental Diseases. The Statistical Manual was ambiguous on the topic of homosexuality. It included a condition called constitutional psychopathic inferiority, without psychosis, that was described as a large group of pathological personalities including sexual perversions. Meanwhile, in the 1935 Standard Classified Nomenclature of Disease, homosexuality was classified as a pathological sexuality under the category of psychopathic personality. Next, we have an excerpt from the National Library of Medicine. National Library of Medicine, National Center for Biotechnology Information. Impact of the DSM-4 to DSM-5 changes on the National Survey on Drug Use and Health. Table 3.11 DSM-4 to DSM-5 Specific Phobia Comparison. In the left column, DSM-4 disorder class disorders, and on the right, DSM-5 disorder class shows the change. The first entry on the left. DSM-4, marked and persistent fear that is excessive or unreasonable, cued by the presence or anticipation of a specific object or situation, e.g., flying, heights, animals, receiving an injection, seeing blood. DSM-5, marked fear or anxiety about a specific object or situation, e.g., flying, heights, animals, receiving an injection, seeing blood. The second entry on the left. DSM-4, exposure to the phobic stimulus almost invariably provokes an immediate anxiety response, which may take the form of a situationally bound or situationally predisposed panic attack. DSM-5, the phobic object or situation almost always provokes immediate fear or anxiety. Next, the definition of the word, pathological. Pathological. Adjective. Adjective, pathological, adjective, pathologic. Definition 1, relating to pathology. Definition 2, involving, caused by, or of the nature of a physical or mental disease. Similar to, morbid, diseased. Informal meanings. Compulsive, obsessive.
To summarize, according to the DSM-5, homosexuality is still considered pathological. That is, involving, caused by, or of the nature of a physical or mental disease. A phobia means a fear. The term, quote, homophobia does not exist in any edition of the DSM. Now you have to ask yourself a question. Do you fear the Lord gonna burn them quacks? I don't know of anyone that fears them, but I do know many that are tired. Some are sighing and proclaiming the truth about this behavior and don't want it shoved into public acceptance such as it is. This Lord gonna burn them quacks can only infect those that the Lord is not protecting from that particular wicked spirit. You see, what has happened, they have flipped the script. Where before it was considered a mental disease, now they're trying to say that because you don't accept it, you don't like it, you fight against it, they're trying to say that you have a mental disease. This is incredible. The term homophobia does not exist in any edition of the DSM. They've created their own definition that they've inserted in dictionaries, and anybody who's smart understands that the English language changes over time. They add words, they take away words, and this is just another one of those circumstances. All praises to Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai.